The woman stranded on the island. Linda suddenly discovered that hidden on the island was a natural waterfall. She excitedly ran to the base of the waterfall and took a shower. Just as she was feeling like the luckiest person in the world, an even luckier event occurred. She noticed a yacht in the distance. This sight instantly gave her hope for survival. However, at that moment, she remembered that if she was rescued, she'd have to go back to work. She decided to give up escaping and chose to stay on the island instead. After returning to the camp, Linda didn't tell Jack about the yacht, so the two continued to live on the island for a few more days. But gradually, Jack could no longer stand this life. He hoped Linda would make a raft out of branches and use the waves to get them off the island. But Linda believed the raft wouldn't survive the waves. She said the only way to survive was to wait for rescue. Thus, they had a fierce argument over their different views. Angry, Jack decided to build a hut himself. Though he was a highly educated man, his survival skills in the wild were poor. He spent a long time, but the hut still wasn't finished. Meanwhile, Linda sat quietly in her hut, watching him. In her spare time, she would catch some fish and roast them. Hungry, Jack had no choice but to go and beg for some food. At this point, Jack noticed a small knife on Linda's table. He was quite surprised. Linda explained she had found it by the sea. Jack apologized, and Linda accepted his apology. A few days later, Jack's leg injury began to heal, so they decided to climb a hill to get a view of the whole island. Along the way, Linda warned Jack not to eat the fruit on the hill because it could be dangerous to their lives. As the sun began to set, they had to return. Suddenly, the stone beneath Linda's feet crumbled. Luckily, Jack managed to rescue her and pulled her up from the edge of the cliff. This accident made Linda start to accept this hot-headed man. Soon after, the island was hit by a strong storm. The waves destroyed their hut. They had to quickly evacuate and spent the night in a cave. The next day, they built a new home. To celebrate their new home, they made a big feast. They thought a happy life was finally coming their way. But just as Linda was enjoying the food, her legs suddenly went weak and her vision blurred. However, Jack didn't help her. Instead, he secretly pulled out a raft from the bushes. He didn't want to live like this anymore and decided to leave. To prevent Linda from stopping him, he took this risky move. But Jack underestimated the power of nature. The raft was quickly broken apart by the waves. Jack was swept into the sea. When Jack woke up again, he found that Linda had saved him, but the guilt in his heart made him feel deep pain. Jack hoped Linda would forgive him. On the surface, Linda didn't hold it against him. Instead, she handed him a string of octopuses. Jack ate them without suspicion, but soon he realized he had lost feeling in his body. It turned out that the octopuses contained a neurotoxin that paralyzes human nerves and pain receptors. Linda hated betrayal above all, so she decided to perform a little surgery on Jack. Jack thought he had lost his manhood, but then he saw Linda pulling out a dissected rat. That was when he realized Linda was not someone to be trifled with.